In your vocabulary, of course you need polite phrases to order coffee or offer help. But what about impolite phrases you can use when you're mad, frustrated, or upset? Natives have a lot of these in our vocabulary, and you should know some too. Today you'll learn 16 impolite phrases Americans use when we're mad. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. Imagine you're trying to finish a report and your coworker is whistling, and it's really annoying. This is where you could use an impolite phrase and turn to your coworker and say, "Cut it out. Cut it out.
Cut it out."
Now, by saying this to your coworker, you mean stop doing something annoying. So again, cut it out. I'm trying to finish this report. Notice grammatically, this is the imperative. You're giving it as an instruction. And cut it out, it is the annoying behavior. When I was a kid, my parents used this with my brother and I a lot, and I'm sure as a parent, you might use it with your kids. So if your kids are fighting in the back seat, you might say, "If you don't cut it out, we're not getting ice cream." Again, it represents the annoying behavior, your kids fighting in the back seat, and there's a consequence if they don't cut it out. Don't worry about taking these notes. I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Before we go on, just know these phrases are not slang. They're grammatically correct phrases that natives use in our vocabulary. And these phrases don't contain swear words, which are considered very impolite in most situations. These phrases can be considered rude, impolite, depending on context. Pay attention to the examples that I give and also the dynamics of the relationships that I provide. Our next phrase is knock it off. This is an alternative to cut it out. Cut it out, knock it off, they mean the same thing.
Knock it off, Mullins.
So if the person beside you at the movies keeps talking, you could turn to that person and say, "Knock it off with the talking." Now notice here, I said knock it off. It is the action, but I still provided with the talking. I defined it just in case it's not extremely obvious. You could say knock off the talking, and the talking represents the something, but it is more common to use the phrase as knock it off, cut it out. If your coworker keeps complaining about an unexpected assignment, you can use this phrase, give it a rest. Give it a rest. Give it a rest. This means stop talking about or doing something annoying. And you might even add, "Oh my God, give it a rest," to sound more dramatic, or seriously, you need to give it a rest. That also sounds more dramatic. And here again, give it a rest. It represents the something annoying. In this case, complaining about an unexpected assignment.
Give it a rest.
Let's say you're playing chess with a friend, your friend lost and got upset, and is still upset an hour or 2 hours or even the next day. You can say, "Let it go, let it go. Stop being upset about something that happened in the past." So you could say to your friend, "Look, you lost the game fair and square. Let it go."
Let it go.
Notice here, I use fair and square. This means that your friend lost according to the rules. It was fair. This happens a lot in workplace situation. For example, you could say to your coworker, "Jamie deserves the promotion. You need to let it go." So Jamie got the promotion, you didn't. You're mad. "But this happened last month. You need to let it go." And it, again, represents what you're upset about, the lost promotion. Let's say you're going through a difficult breakup and your friend knows it's a sensitive topic, but they keep asking you about it. You can say, "Drop it, drop it, drop it."
Drop it.
This means stop discussing a subject. And in this case, the subject is your difficult breakup. So you could even add, I said I don't want to talk about my breakup. Drop it. Or if your husband or wife keeps saying, let's go to the party, let's go. You can say, I told you I don't want to go, just drop it. Again, stop discussing this subject, which is going to the party. Let's say your colleague is trying to take control of a project, even though you are the lead on that project. You might say to your colleague, back off, back off. This means stop pressuring, criticizing, or threatening someone. So in this case, pressuring in the sense of your colleague is trying to tell you what to do or take control of the project.
He resigned to get Forstman to back off.
You could say, back off, I'm the team lead. You need to back off. It's my decision to make. And in a general sense, if someone is trying to tell you how to live your life, we use this expression a lot. It's my life, back off. Let's say a more junior employee made a mistake and that mistake caused problems. You could say, I can't believe you screwed up the presentation.
I screwed up.
So here, the expression is someone, you, screwed up. So to screw up, this means make a mistake or cause a problem. You could say, this is the third time she screwed up this week. So notice here, you're talking about someone else. Maybe you're discussing the performance of someone on your team with your coworker or your boss. Or you say, the intern really screwed things up, so I'll just do it myself. And screwed things up, things is just general, whatever you were working on. If you say to someone, you're screwed, this means you're in serious trouble, and you might be even satisfied when you say that, depending on the context. So if the client finds out the data isn't on a secure server, you're screwed. You're screwed. You really screwed up by not putting the data on a secure server. So remember, screw up, make a mistake, you're screwed, you're in trouble.
You're screwed.
You could use this to refer to a general situation. So if your car breaks down, stops working, and your phone is dead as well, so you can't call for help, you might turn to the passenger and say, we're screwed. We're in serious trouble. We're screwed. Or you could say, screw it. Screw it. So screw it. This means I don't care about the consequences. So you might say, screw it, I'm ordering dessert. You're eating dessert even though you're trying to lose weight, even though you're on a diet. So the it sounds like your health, your diet, your fitness goals. Screw it, I'm ordering dessert.
But I thought, screw it, I'm eating ice cream.
Or screw it, I'm taking the rest of the day off. If you're just having a really bad day at work, someone screwed up the project, you might need to just leave. Screw it, I'm taking the rest of the day off. I don't care if I get in trouble. This morning, my husband said to me, screw that, which means I refuse to do that, or no, I'm not doing that. But he wasn't talking to something I requested. He was talking about a situation. For example, this flight is cheaper, but there are 2 stops. Screw that. Screw that. Let's not book this flight.
Screw that.
So you can use this as a very strong no. So you might say, we just got a last-minute invite to Jamie's wedding in Australia, and you live in New York, and you say, screw that. I'm not flying halfway around the world. So a very strong no. But if Jamie is talking to you directly, it would be very rude to say that. So if Jamie says, we'd love to have you at our wedding, You would say something like, thank you so much for the invitation, but unfortunately, we can't make it. So absolutely, you can use this impolite phrase to describe a situation, but will you say it to the person? No, unless you're very rude. Let's move on to mind your own business. You may have heard this, it's very common. This means stop asking about or interfering in my personal affairs. At work, if that same coworker who is trying to take control of your project says to you, you should have done more promotion before the launch. You can say to that coworker, mind your own business. This is my project.
I told you before, mind your own business.
Or maybe your brother comments on the expensive watch you just bought, but in a negative way. You could say, it's my money, mind your own business. Or if you find out your friend was gossiping about your divorce, maybe you would say to another friend, she should mind her own business. So notice, one's business has to match the subject. She, her business. You, your business. You might say to someone, what's your problem? What's your problem? This means, why are you behaving in a rude, aggressive, or inappropriate way?
What's your problem?
What's your problem? I only asked a simple question. Maybe you would say this to your husband or wife if they're being a little grumpy. Or if your friend gets road rage when someone cuts them off. Now, road rage is when you become extremely angry. You could say to your friend, what's your problem? You need to calm down. Or you could say, Sarah criticized every idea I had. What's her problem? So here, her problem. It belongs to Sarah. Notice the pronunciation of this phrase. You've gotta be kidding me. You've gotta be kidding me. The word gotta is slang, so that's why I didn't write it, but in spoken English, that's how it's pronounced. You've gotta be kidding me. So this is when something is extremely frustrating, surprising, or ridiculous. So you get to the airport and your flight is delayed by 2 hours. You look at the board and you say, ugh, you've gotta be kidding me. Or your boss emails you to tell you to work late tonight, and it's Friday night, and you read the email and you just reply out loud, not to your boss, just in your office where no one can hear you. You've got to be kidding me.
You've got to be kidding me.
This next phrase is a useful one. Give me a break. Now, give me, it can sound more combined. Gimme a break. Give me a break. Give me a break. This is when you think someone's excuse or behavior is ridiculous.
Eleanor, give me a break.
You could use this to start and say, give me a break. There's no way you finish all that work in 10 minutes. So you don't believe what someone said. Or you need to get gas and you get to the gas station and gas prices are up again. And as you're pulling in, you say, give me a break. Again, give me a break. This next one was my favorite word when I was 16. Most teenage girls have this in their vocabulary. Whatever, whatever. But you can absolutely still use this as an adult, and if you're male or female. This is used to dismiss what someone has said or show that you don't want to argue. So you just want to end a discussion. So if you're going back to a teenager, a parent says, if you want to go to the party, you need to clean your room first. And then the teenager says, whatever, and walks away. Typical teenager parent interaction in North America. Here's one where you don't want to argue. If your friend insists their restaurant choice is better, you can say, whatever, we'll just go to that one. So you're using whatever to let your friend know that you're not happy, but you don't want to argue. It's not worth it.
Like, whatever.
This last one is very dismissive. If you say, not my problem, not my problem.
Not my problem.
You're saying, that's not my responsibility, so I don't care. And that's why is very dismissive. You can start this and say, not my problem. You should have checked the schedule. So if your coworker says, I have to work on Friday, but I have family visiting, and they want you to work on Friday for them, and you say, not my problem. You should have checked the schedule. Or if your classmate or coworker forgets their part of a project and asks you to do it, but you say, not my problem. You had all week. I did my part. You need to do your part. Not my problem. Now you can sound natural when you're expressing anger or frustration. Do you want me to keep helping you expand your vocabulary? Put yes, 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 put yes, yes, yes in the comments below. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. Here's another lesson I know you'll love. Watch it now.